Jim Bloom, talk about the CDs that we're adding this month.
The CDs we are adding this month on Folk Alley, I can talk about that. I can tell you about a very young group we're excited about called the Dorfles. They're teenagers, and on the other end of the spectrum, Buffy Sainte-Marie surprises with a new release. Are they good? I will tell you. First, let's take a look at some of the other ones that are getting lots of play not only on Folk Alley but other stations around the country. How about Chris Pandolfi? Now, who is that? Have you heard him? You probably have. If you've heard the infamous Stringdusters, he was one of the co-founders and still is. He's the banjo player, has a wonderful new album of all of his own compositions. A lot of great players. Most of the Stringdusters are behind him. Works Progress Administration. Is this history from the CCA in the Roosevelt era? No, but that whole concept of working together is what the group is all about. Two members of Nickel Creek, Sean Watkins and Sarah Watkins. A couple of members of Elvis Costello's band. Also great sideman and Greg Lees. And Glenn Phillips and Toad the Wet Sprocket. There's about 10 of them, and they are touring some, and this new album features 3, make it 4 lead singers if you count Luke Bula. Wonderful playing, nice original ideas, good composition. I think you'll like them, and we're going to play them quite a bit. Dan May, kind of a nobody in the middle of Pennsylvania, but here's a guy who was told 20 years ago that he was going to die. Instead, he survived. The illness gave him this unbelievably low voice. He became a world-respected opera singer and has now decided in his 50s he wants to sing folk music and write his own songs. And some of them are very good, so be on the lookout for Dan May. The Waifs from Australia. Both Donna and Vicky Simpson took a sabbatical. They gave birth on the same day, and now they have a new live album featuring a surprise guest in John Butler, who is a big superstar in Australia and New Zealand. He makes a guest appearance with them. This is solid. Dave Alvin and the Guilty Women. As you may recall, if you know your Dave Alvin history, he was in a group called the Guilty Men. He has now created this group with 7 women behind him. They met and played at the Hardly Strictly Bluegrass Festival in California. Now they have recorded and are touring, and it's solid. Laurie Lewis, one of the players there. Nancy Griffith has a new one, if we haven't told you about that. That's also very good, featuring a wonderful testimony about interracial marriage involving a case that took place in Virginia back in the 1960s, named after the family involved, Loving. Also a wonderful song that Nancy has written just about the whole idea of singing when you're in trouble. I think you'll like what Nancy has given you. Now to the 2 I mentioned, the Dorfles. They're a young band that began to show up on the festival circuit. Festival brats, if you will. I think the youngest player is 7. The oldest is about 18. They have a wonderful harmony, and of course all of that sibling connection that works so well really shows up in their playing. Not every cut is strong, but I think they'll be better. Buffy Sainte-Marie, kind of a surprise album. To be honest, a little bit more rock and roll than what we would be playing on Folk Alley. But a couple of songs stand out, especially the very last one. She even does a America the Beautiful rendition, which is unique in the fact that she is First Nation Canadian. She's written a few extra verses, so it's sort of an outside perspective on America from somebody who's probably better known in our country. So there is the latest, and I'm Jim Bloom.